getting answers for Western Massachusetts. This is Western Mass News.
Communities of color, the ones that are the hardest hit in terms of COVID.
Coming up, a special vaccine clinic opens in Springfield as appointments fill up quickly across the state.
Plus, the Catholic Church raising concerns over the newest COVID-19 vaccine tonight. We have those details.
Mount Holyoke's Gorse Children's Center extending their contract to be open another year after they announced they would be closing in June. I'm Priscilla Landaverde with details on why parents say this is not enough.
Western Mass News is your vaccine authority. Thanks for joining us, everyone, on this Thursday. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Jordyn Jagolinzer. A special COVID-19 vaccination clinic is underway in Springfield. This comes as new appointments at the mass vaccine sites filled up within hours this morning.
Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo joins us now live in Springfield with more on that. Audrey?
Earlier today, Governor Charlie Baker stressed the importance of having vaccine access be equitable in cities that not only are hard hit by the pandemic, but also that have large numbers of Black and brown people. In Springfield, which was identified as one of those cities, at the Caring Health Center today, they held a vaccine clinic that was for bilingual people. At this vaccine clinic, they helped people who may have had a difficult time signing up for the vaccine through the traditional channels. They tell me that they vaccinated more than 20 people today. The president of the Caring Health Center tells Western Mass News she's encouraged that they will regularly receive COVID-19 vaccine doses for clinics like this one.
Those of color, communities of color, the ones that are the hardest hit in terms of COVID, to be able to feel comfortable and confident to know that now that they can go and have access to be administered the vaccine like others within our community.
This effort underway as all 12,000 newly available first dose vaccine appointments in the state at the mass vaccine sites were snapped up this morning, all within a few hours. People called Western Mass News to say they waited hours only to find out they weren't getting an appointment for the third week in a row.
After about an hour and a half, it came up on the computer that the dosages ran out.
I think it's unfair that I can't currently vaccinate everyone in Massachusetts who wants to get vaccinated. But it's a fact. It's a reality. Until there's more vaccine, we're going to be playing this waiting game.
Now, Governor Baker is holding firm on opening up the number of vaccine appointments based on the number of doses he anticipates getting each week, although he did acknowledge that it is a frustrating system for many who go weeks and weeks without managing to snare even one appointment. Live in Springfield, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thanks for that live report. A follow-up now to a story Western Mass News brought you just last week. A vital child care center in South Hadley set to close in June will now remain open for another year.
But families are speaking out, frustrated this is only a temporary solution for a long-term issue. Western Mass News reporter Priscilla Landaverde has the story.
I chose to come to Mount Holyoke because of the Gorse Child Care Center.
Parents whose children attend the Gorse Children's Center, located on the Mount Holyoke College campus in South Hadley, say they want the school to take more action to keep the center in operation. Last week, Mount Holyoke announced they were ending their contract with Bright Horizons, the company that runs the on-campus child care center, and doors would be closing in June. Parents protested and had their voices heard temporarily. On Sunday, Mount Holyoke staff received an email from the president saying, in part, I am writing to acknowledge and sincerely apologize for the extraordinary stress that the college's recent announcement to suspend on-campus childcare operations at the Gorse Children's Center has caused for so many in our community.
She said that her team was looking into continuing care for the Mount Holyoke College families for the next academic year, and it was vague.
And then on Tuesday, staff and the extended community received another email saying the college has contracted an additional year with Bright Horizons. Mount Holyoke officials tell Western Mass News in a statement, this interim solution means that children will continue to be cared for at the Gorse Children's Center while a group is formed to seek feedback and make recommendations for the future. Local families say this is only a first step and would like to see the college take more action before it's too late.
We need to have some longer term security. Otherwise, as rational actors, folks are going to look for new jobs. And parents are going to look for a longer term option. The transitions are really hard for young kids.
Or all of the families in the community and Mount Holyoke College who use that center, right, that there will be no interruption come July 1st, 2022.
At this time, officials from Mount Holyoke College could not say whether or not they would extend any further contracts after July of 2022. For now, reporting in South Hadley, Pisano and Jordyn for Western Mass News.
Well, despite the cloud cover and the flurries, like you just saw with Bracinda's report from earlier today, we had snow showers, snow flurries. We still managed to get some afternoon sunshine, which helped to bump temperatures into the upper 30s throughout the lower valley, middle to upper 30s elsewhere. So we ended up fairly close to normal, slightly below it by just a few degrees. But of course, with the wind, it's felt colder all day. Right now, we're 34 degrees, but it feels 10 degrees colder because of that wind, which is sustained at 17 miles an hour out of the northwest. Pretty skies as we look out from the Monarch Sky Cam. A little bit of color right there on the horizon, but it is cold. Temperatures down to the middle 20s already through central Berkshire County, low 30s for the Pioneer Valley and some 20s in the hill towns. Wind is gusting up to 40 miles an hour now in Westfield, so the gust actually has picked up a little bit, though we will see the gust back down slightly overnight. We are going to keep that steady breeze through tomorrow morning. So wind chills keep dropping, lower 20s for the valley, teens right now for the hills, and we will have wind chills possibly falling down to the single digits both above and below zero through tomorrow morning. You can see at midnight our wind chills are almost there. Clear skies for now. We will have some patchy clouds that start rolling in closer to morning, but we're still going to end up in the teens for early morning temperatures. And then as we take a look at your Friday planner, we'll have patchy clouds around with some sunshine throughout the day again, highs near freezing, but it will feel more like lower 20s. I'll have your weekend forecast coming in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Janna, thanks. The Department of Public Health releasing today's COVID-19 data. They say the state's positivity rate over the last 2 weeks sits at 1.93%. They say there have been 42 new deaths, sadly, due to the coronavirus. And so far, more than 1.3 million Massachusetts residents have received one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. There are approximately 6.8 million who live in the Bay State. For a full look at those numbers, you can check out our free Western Mass News streaming app.
The Catholic Church is raising ethical concerns about the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. That message playing out here in Western Mass as well.
Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis is getting answers for us in Springfield.
Catholics in Western Mass, like others around the country, are being asked to carefully consider their choices when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine. Western Mass News spoke to the Bishop of the Springfield Diocese to find out more.
It would be preferable to use the other two for in extreme cases. One could discern perhaps that the use of the Johnson & Johnson could be done in extreme circumstances.
Bishop William Byrne, appointed less than 5 months ago to the Roman Catholic Diocese of Springfield, explains the church's stance on the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine, given the makeup of the doses.
I would advocate that they and all those who are using cells from aborted fetuses should reconsider other options. I'm not a biologist or a microbiologist, but I know there can be ways to do this.
Bishop Byrne tells Western Mass News the church's preference is clear.
Given this case, we would choose for Moderna or Pfizer above the Johnson & Johnson. Regardless of what we do, we should be seeking to advocate for those who have no voice, and that means the unborn.
But he says the church does support getting vaccinated. On the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops website, they state, while we should continue to insist that pharmaceutical companies stop using abortion-derived cell lines, given the worldwide suffering that this pandemic is causing, we affirm again that being vaccinated can be an act of charity that serves the common good. Also, Western Mass News reached out to Trinity Health of New England, the Catholic health system which Mercy Medical Center is a part of, to get their take. They tell us in a statement, Trinity Health believes administering life-saving vaccines should not be delayed, and we continue supporting vaccinating our communities as supplies are available. Bishop Burns says at the end of the day, what vaccine you get is a personal choice.
It's up to each and every conscience. I have to inform people how to act, and then people have to make their own decisions.
For Western Mass News, I'm Leon Purvis.
And Western Mass News is your vaccine authority. We're getting you answers surrounding the COVID-19 vaccine and its rollout. Grab your phones, open the camera app, and scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen for the very latest vaccine headlines, vaccination sites, and to send us a vaccine-related question. You can also call us with your questions. The number's there on your screen as well, 413-846-0200, or email us at vax@westernmassnews.com. A reminder, though, that this is not for signing up to get the vaccine. A Springfield man is facing multiple possession charges after being arrested in Connecticut earlier this afternoon. Enfield police tell Western Mass News 32-year-old Javon Gilks was stopped for a seatbelt violation. The officer then noticed more than 80 OxyContin pills in plain view. Gilks then attempted to escape on foot, but he was quickly caught and arrested. A search of the car yielded more than 20 pounds of marijuana, a stolen firearm, and more than $4,000 in cash. He is currently being held without bail.
South Hadley Public Schools dealing with multiple issues to both in-person and online learning today. Western Mass News has learned a threat was made during an in-class Zoom call this morning. On top of that, the school is also dealing with an internet hack, a nightmare situation for parents who are sharing their concerns tonight.
It's just frustrating. We finally get the kids back in school, and now they probably have to be remote because of the cyber hack.
I don't know what it is that they're being exposed to during the hack, and I certainly don't want them to be exposed to anything that's inappropriate.
The superintendent's office tells us both incidents are under investigation. Stick with us both on air and online for the very latest.